Hello and welcome to another episode of Neo's Arcade News. Today I want to do a brief video to discuss the Basic Fun Arcade Classics Return of the Jedi Ultra Series cabinet and its size. There's a bit of a rumor concerning that, and I think we should address it. So let's get into it. So pardon the lack of arcade accoutrement in the background. I've been away and didn't even have a chance to turn anything on and play it today. So just wanted to sit down though for a second and address a little bit of concern that I've seen rumble up here and there regarding the size of the Ultra Series Return of the Jedi cabinet that has yet to be released by Basic Fun. It is coming out soon. Should be just a little bit later this year. We had an update in our Arcade Insiders live show, but if you didn't catch that, it's still coming this year, and looking forward to that. But there was some concern recently about the size. In particular, there was some confusion regarding a retailer listing, actually maybe more than one retailer, who put up something that wasn't necessarily provided by either Basic Fun or anyone else. They had some dimensions, but they didn't have a graphic that had the dimensions associated with them. So they looks like they may have just made some assumptions as to which dimensions fit which numbers they were given. And unfortunately, I think that's led to a bit of confusion. Now, what I can say is that I did reach out to retail firsthand. Retail for the U.S. market is, handling the importing and selling and shipping of Return of the Jedi. And they have all of the information related to that product. They were the one that actually put the order in for the product. They know what's going on. They're basically your first-hand source for a lot of information, as much as Basic Fun is themselves sometimes, because they have access to a lot of the same information. In any event, they provided the info that we needed, and it turns out it was just a simple mix-up. The retailer swapped two of the numbers. They swapped the depth and the width, and when you actually look at it, it's pretty easy to see why. So they put 18.98 inches as the depth, which made it look slim, and 23.98 inches as the width. So now you have a cabinet that would be, if you think logically about this, about as wide as an XL, but as slim as a slim-cady. So let's just stop right there for a second, because that doesn't make any sense at all. Even if there was no other information out there, and again, I contacted Spreetail, so I know, but even if there was no other information out there, just looking at those two numbers alone, you could see that it doesn't make sense. There's never been a slim-cady as wide as an XL. So these numbers are reversed, and that's all there is to it. There's nothing more than that. There's no conspiracy. There's no actual slim-cady. In fact, the slim-cady product was something that Basic Fun considered producing. They're not producing it. And if they were, it would have a foot in the exact same way that the Arcade 1-Up products have a foot. This does not have a foot. And it is not a slim-cady. There are no slim-cadys currently in the lineup, and as far as I'm aware, none are planned. So this is not a slim-cady. It's not a slim cabinet. It's not even necessarily smaller than traditional Arcade 1-Up cabinets. As a matter of fact, if you look at the actual dimensions and compare them to other Arcade 1-Up products, this is almost identical in every dimension to a typical deluxe cabinet, and in some cases fractionally larger. It is also a tiny bit larger than the Arcade 1-Up Star Wars with a riser. So again, there should be no cause for concern. It's understandable why there was a mix-up when the retailer didn't get it right, and I guess didn't stop to ask anyone. But again, just thinking about it logically, all you need to do is swap the two numbers that we saw, and you'd arrive at the proper cabinet size, which again is pretty darn close to a typical Arcade 1-Up product. Now, of course, none of us have it in our homes yet, so I can't say 100% for certain because I haven't measured it in my own home. But again, I got it from the people that placed the order for the product. I have a pretty good suspicion they know what they're talking about. And logic tells us that if these dimensions at least are correct, you're not going to have a product that's as wide as an XL, but as slim as a slim-cady. That just wouldn't look very good at all, fortunately. So we can put this little rumor or misconfusion to bed. Again, we'll be getting the Return of the Jedi soon enough, and if you didn't catch the update on that, I'd encourage you to watch the Arcade Insiders for more on that. As a matter of fact, coming up soon, we're going to have even more exclusive information talking about, hopefully, some other aspects of the Return of the Jedi cabinet that you're going to be pretty interested in seeing. So stay tuned for that. That's all I have for now. Thanks for joining me and allowing me to sort of clarify this, and hopefully I'll have some more information for you soon.